Moving into the exploration phase, I've prepared 3 short mini lectures. Senge says that learning organizations create a sustainable competitive edge with no blame setting, within a no blame setting by fostering continuous learning. And he addresses 5 components to learning organizations that include team learning, mental models, shared vision, personal mastery, and systems thinking. And so as far as team learning goes, unless a team can learn, the organization can't learn. And it requires, team learning requires self-awareness, the ability to defend one's own convictions, and then open and honest dialogue. In clinical practice, do no harm is the mental model. And in academia, plagiarism is really not tolerated. And in each setting, there is no room for error. The mental model is that is a no mistake mentality. And along with that is the idea that nurses think teachers should teach and students should get A's so that they can pass the NCLEX. And once the NCLEX is passed, really, unless they choose to go back to school, the idea is that they never have to learn again. And Yolanda, you want to go in and see if you can remove the box there? Yeah. Another mental model of spring is, you know, the robin comes back. So it's just something to remember, that reinforce there that mental modeling is really ingrained deeply within our brains in terms of how we should think and function. Senge and Al-Abri Al-Hasmi contend that teams can share a view of healthy, accepting workplaces where mistakes are opportunities for performing better. The idea is that the team, as it builds, can come up with a shared vision that will guide personal commitment for performance and achievement. Then personal mastery involves a personal commitment to do better and be better. But it does take an awareness of the skills one has and those for which they desire to have in the future to define themselves as experts. System thinking involves this self-awareness to personal outcomes, requiring teams to make a systems leap to create solutions for greater organizational good. So it's really a process that living structures have that focus on cause and effect, and it helps develop solutions to complex problems with respect to the fact that system components are greater than the whole. And Craig, you want to remove the mystery box there and see what we might have behind there? So the idea here is that as the robin comes back to out for its meal in the springtime, it is connected to a greater good or a greater whole. Global thinking is still yet another leap. And teams have to recognize not just that there's a that's above, beside or below them, but they have to look at how they're connected not just to a system, but to an evolving humanity. And so holons are the part of a system that is also part of the whole. And it's more than just this spatial essence. It involves subjectivity and action. So it evolves from a subsystem that is an emerging evolution. And so Yolanda, let's remove the green box and mystery box and see what we can find behind it to add some idea to the mentality we're working with here. You can see the geese in its V formation, and it migrates across the country during seasonal changes. And so it's an emerging evolution or mystery for us as humans to understand how that's connected. The picture here shows that the human is part of the earth, that the earth also is its whole. The idea is that as we bring the system and global thinking back at the classroom level, and it requires us to look at the teacher-student transaction as a hierarchical structure that promotes shared interaction. And when you have this relationship, it can reduce negative impact of this transactional distance. That the greater the perceived distance on the end of the student, the less interaction and the more that learning suffers. Likewise, student-to-student interactions impact that sense of learning as well. So the structure is that the perceived social presence between the learners reduces negative impact and that transactional distance. And the greater the perception of the distance is, the less interaction occurs and the more learning suffers. So a key point from Garrison is that educators who use various pedagogical skills support the community of inquiry model and enhance interactions that yield creativity and reduce the perceived transactional distance. So if you want to know more about learning organizations, you can pause the video or pause the session, review the video that is here from Harvard Business Review, and the same way with the virtual learners. So what I want you to do now is I want you to go to the breakout room and find a picture to symbolize a shared vision for online nursing experience. Nobody gets hurt today. Shared vision is an ideal situation for applying to online classroom settings as well as practice. Good job, you guys.